This is Sophia Haber-Brock, and welcome to North News Senior Spotlight for the graduating class of 2020. This year has certainly been one for the history books. The worldwide coronavirus pandemic, quarantining, political and civil disparities, among other events, have redefined normal and affected the world in different ways. Even amidst these unprecedented times, the graduating class of 2020 has continued to thrive, overcoming many challenges and changes. Over the past few weeks, I've had the opportunity to speak with multiple graduates from the class of 2020. Their resilience and ability to adapt to change, as well as their diverse interests and experiences, makes this graduating class truly unique and inspiring. They each have very bright futures ahead.
I am very pleased that so many of our seniors were willing to be interviewed to share their high school experiences and future plans with us. The seniors have a lasting keepsake to memorialize their time and accomplishments at High School North. How interesting it will be when they watch their interviews years later from now. I am happy that this idea morphed into something that far exceeded my initial expectations. The seniors enjoyed the opportunity to tell their stories.
I'm going to Stevens Institute of Technology in Hoboken, and I'll be majoring in biomedical engineering, and I plan to minor in chemical biology, and I'll be on the pre-med track.
I think I want to do something in finance, maybe work on Wall Street or something, but we'll see. I mean, there's just so many different paths you could take at this point in your life, and it's crazy to think any decision you make that'll just completely change the outcome of the rest of your life.
I'm definitely majoring in film, so I really want to go towards that career path. I'm thinking of even taking up some minors and maybe double major with communications and all that stuff.
I'll be a teacher, a kindergarten teacher.
I'm kind of going into college undecided, and I want to take classes of each subject to see if anything sparks, but my goal is definitely to graduate a 4-year university and just not work a day in my life. Just love my job. I don't know. My goals for being a student is to graduate with a master's in kinesiology and possibly exercise science and pursue a career in that field.
I am going to Baylor University, which is in Waco, Texas, on the pre-med track.
My goals for the short term are probably solidifying my major at Rutgers, since I will be attending there next fall, and probably trying to find some more volunteer opportunities so I can get some exposure in the medical field.
I will be attending the Rutgers University School of Engineering, and I will be enrolled in their 5-year Bachelor's and Master's of Science in Biomedical Engineering program. I hope to graduate from Rutgers and join a team that will hopefully create or discover something that can improve the quality of life of people that truly need it in the future.
I'm actually double majoring in biological sciences and Spanish because I really do love both, and I can't imagine not pursuing Spanish in college. So I definitely hope to study abroad and use my Spanish there. And I think it's so important in the medical field because so many people speak Spanish. So I'll be able to communicate with more patients. And I have considered playing softball with either with an intramural team or even a club team.
I'm going to Columbia University next year, so I'm really excited about that.
I'm going to Auburn University to study architecture and interior architecture. And I hope to use that degree in the future to become a Disney Imagineer and even do some urban design planning in my community.
Next year I'm attending Rutgers University, and as of now I'm planning on majoring in history and minoring in theater arts, but that might end up being a double major, I don't know. And I'll also be completing the 5-year teacher education program, so that'll enable me to be certified in social studies and theater, and I hope to eventually teach at the high school level.
I'm going to be attending the College of New Jersey next year as a dual major for special and elementary education and psychology. And I'm going to be doing the 5-year master's program. So I'll be graduating in 2025. I'm hoping to be a part of the pep band at TCNJ, and I'm hoping to stick with music for the rest of my life.
I'm going to Monmouth University in the fall. I actually just switched my major to undecided, but originally it was secondary education and history, because I love the idea of education, but I think I still want to explore criminal justice or psychology.
I'm going to the University of Massachusetts Amherst as a sport management major, and I'm going to be minoring in Portuguese. So I'm switching from Spanish a little bit.
After this year, I'm going to Brookdale Community College to study music. After that, I'm going to try and go to a four-year university to continue my education as a music major. I would like to be a music teacher in public schools and still do performing. I don't want to end that. I still want to be a performer, like do mostly jazz.
I'm moving to California to get my residency, and then I'm going to Santa Barbara City College, and I'm playing softball there. And then after 2 years, after I finally get my residency, I'm going to transfer to UCLA. In college, I'm majoring in film. I kind of had this plan since sophomore year, so I've always looked forward to it.
I plan on joining the military. I looked at the Marines and all my other options, and I was like, this is what I want. This is what's best for me and what I'll progress myself best in. Ever since I was little, I've always been interested in it, and I don't think it's ever changed. I'm actually really excited to go. I can't wait.
Having a twin helped a lot, especially freshman year. The transition was so much easier having someone there with you. Being a twin is so unique, and having 8 sets in one class is awesome. Yeah. She's my sister, and I until best friend. Yeah, I mean, until I move away to college, I'm with her 24/7, every single minute of the day. That's every day. Yeah, since we've been born. So it's definitely gonna be a challenge, but there's no way we're gonna split apart. We get the question of, are you actually identical, or have you ever switched classes with each other? Do you guys have a secret language and nobody else knows about? Yeah. Another big question is who's older. I can definitely tell when something's off with her. Even if she doesn't look any different or her mood doesn't really shift, I can tell. And same thing with her. Sometimes we have the tendency to talk really fast and we mumble. So when we talk, I can understand her perfectly clear, but when we're with our friends, they're like, what did you just say? How did you understand what you just said? But we can't control when that happens. It just kind of does. In the 5th grade, actually, we did try. I remember our teachers, I'm surprised they didn't catch it sooner. I went to her class, and it was right before recess. I remember this so well. And everyone's sitting there, and the whole class is giggling because we were in on it. And her teacher had walked in and was looking at all of us, and he was like, why are you all laughing? What's so funny? And no one was saying anything. And so he was like, you know what, if it's so funny, I guess you won't go to recess. I won't pull out your math books. And we're all staring at each other, and then I had to get up and be like, I'm not Jules. And that's why everyone's laughing. And when I went in her classroom, her teacher noticed it right away. She was like, wrong one, wrong choice. But I mean, that was it. I mean, as we got older, I think we started looking more as individuals, not as identical twins. But I think as we get older, we're starting to look more and more alike. But that was the only time we tried something, and it was an epic fail. We hang out with the same group of people. I mean, we do the same things. So that's very similar. And for the two of us, we're very involved in the North community. We're both in a lot of the same clubs. I did cheerleading all 4 years, and I was the captain my senior year. And I know for her, she was a captain of the running cross-country team and also played lacrosse.
I think having a twin, it's less a lot of being compared to her, So she's always one-upping me, so then I have to get back and one-up her, But I like it because you're never alone. You always got somebody.
I think in my literature class, there's 4 sets of twins, if I remember correctly. And in my gym class, there's 5 of us. So it's funny when you're in a class with a bunch of twins.
Yeah, and the 4x8 relay team for track and field, it's composed of all twins.
That's pretty crazy that there's so many of us. We tend to be not polar opposites, but we have a lot of differences. Yeah, we do have a lot of differences. I'm more directed towards the creatives. He's more directed towards the athletics. We never were in the same class at all prior to high school, not even in preschool. So it was really weird freshman year, but honestly, by the first week, I pretty much got used to it. He just ends up becoming another classmate. We don't have beef where we're oh, I'm so done with him. Once I leave college, that's it. We are going.
I don't know. You give those vibes.
Hey, whoa. We're going to college. Our universities are literally a train ride away, a 30-minute train ride away. So if I have to, I visit him once in a while. And hopefully he'd visit me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's really acting a little strange right now.
It's definitely cool to have someone especially we went to a Catholic school, so a lot of kids that were going into high school already knew each other. It was just starting off. It was nice to have someone you knew.
Yeah.
people are always shocked to find out that we're twins. Like,
I know a lot of people, like every single time someone finds out we're twins, they're like, "Oh, do you have twin powers?" Or
yeah, they always
twin
ask if we have
proof?"
twin telepathy. I had a class with Joey Sclafani and Gabriella Rubelo. So it was just funny because there was 3 of the halves in that one class. It's crazy because we know all of them, and like I've had a class with at least probably all of them once in my high school, and like it's crazy because like I never connected that there were so many.
I'm currently finishing up EMT school, and when I pass the EMT National Registry test within a month or 2, hopefully, if we're allowed to test, I'll be a nationally certified EMT. I actually got hands-on skills and hands-on practice in the field when I would help to treat patients. So it was preparing me for what I want to do in the future, which is to be a doctor. I'm going to Stevens Institute of Technology in Hoboken, and I'll be majoring in biomedical engineering, and I plan to minor in chemical biology, and I'll be on the pre-med track.
I am going to Baylor University, which is in Waco, Texas, on the pre-med track. I'm going to be a medical humanities major, and I hope to become an organ transplant surgeon. I've always wanted to be a doctor since I was little. I really just want to help people however I can, and I think the human body is absolutely fascinating, and I love using my hands to like fix things and do things, so being a surgeon has always been on my mind. I was actually super nervous to shadow in surgery for the first time. As soon as I walked into that operating room, it was like I've never felt more comfortable and safe and at home. It really just felt like I needed to be there and I was supposed to be there.
I really liked biology freshman year in high school, and I also took chemistry my junior year and sophomore year. And I just really liked the subjects. And then this year I also took AP Bio and Human Anatomy, and I think those classes just really kind of sparked my interest even more in the medical field. And I know that it involves a lot of knowledge and passion for these subjects, so I thought it would be the right fit for me.
I will be attending the Rutgers University School of Engineering, and I will be enrolled in their 5-year Bachelor's and Master's of Science in Biomedical Engineering program. I hope to graduate from Rutgers and join a team that will hopefully create or discover something that can improve the quality of life of people that truly need it in the future. I've always been interested in engineering, and I knew that that's what I've wanted to do for a very long time. But I became interested in medicine about a year ago when I was diagnosed with osteomyelitis after a couple months of testing and ambiguity, and it was very hard on my family. And eventually I was able to get the right care that I needed, and my arm was essentially saved by diagnostic and rehabilitative technology, and of course the many professionals and surgeons that helped me get through it. And so the way that I was saved, I want to help other people. And so I feel it's right for me to go into biomedical engineering.
I want to be a doctor, so I definitely hope to be very involved in college. I really hope I get good grades in college, and I'm definitely going to work very hard to achieve my ultimate goal. First became interested my summer before freshman year. I went to work with my mom. She works at a surgery center, and I never really thought about going into the medical field before this, but I got to see so many different careers. So I got to talk to nurses, to surgeons, to anesthesiologists, physician assistants, and I just thought it was so fascinating what they did, and it was so cool how a patient came in and, you know, they were sick or they were hurt, and then they were able to help them, and they left with a smile on their face. So after that, I was definitely like, wow, this is pretty cool. So my freshman year, I wasn't completely set yet, but then sophomore year, I attended a program at Georgetown, and it was essentially like a preview into medical school in the medical field. So we had lectures every day, we had labs every day, and the moment I think that really made me, you know, dedicate, you know, that I validated my hopes for the future was in the cadaver lab. So I walked in, I was so nervous. I thought I was going to pass out, and I was like, if I pass out, I can't be a doctor, like it's done there. So I walked in, I was like shaking. I didn't sleep the night before. And my first station was the brain station. And just walking up to a table with brains was just insane, like surreal, And then the medical student handed it to me, and I was like, oh my goodness, like this is someone's life. This was someone's life, The brain controlled everything, and I'm holding it in my hand. So that day was really so impactful, and it was really such a great experience because I really got to see so much of the human body, and that was really when it validated I'm going to be a doctor. So that was really very important for me. I really like pediatrics. I've always loved kids, and I really like how you get to care for the kids when they're young and you get to see them grow. You get to really form a strong relationship with them while also doing a lot of different clinical, diagnoses and stuff like that. For people who want to go into the medical field, I would definitely say to research it because you're going to dedicate a lot of your life to your study. So after college for 4 years, you go to medical school for 4 years, and then residency can be anywhere from 4 to even 8 years, I think, and then you could further specialize with a fellowship. So it definitely takes a lot of dedication, but I think that if anyone works hard, they can definitely do it. I know that I'm hoping I can, but I think you just have to have that mindset that you can if you work hard, put the work in and stuff like that.
On the first day of class, Ms. Pearson was like, being a teacher is basically being an actor. And I think that's kind of when I realized, okay, I could do this.
I've tried to get in as many education classes as I can in high school, especially. So I've been in child development twice, and I'm doing Tomorrow's Teachers this year. And I've just always loved being in a school.
GLP3 is government law and public policy. And what that is it's designed for students with similar interests in the government-related fields. Going into freshman year, I knew I wanted to be involved as much as possible, and I saw this as an opportunity to meet new people and see if this was something I would be interested in. It showed me so many different things that I wouldn't have normally looked into. I loved it. Yeah, just working with different students that have similar interests.
So the Seal of Biliteracy was a new test that was offered at North, a test based on which language that you're taking. I took the test for Spanish. It's just 4 parts that you needed to get at least a score of a 5 out of 9 in order to pass. And if you passed those, you were considered biliterate in the state of New Jersey. I can remember even as early as my days at New Monmouth, they would offer just basic Spanish classes that you have to take. And then I took it all throughout middle school and then all the way up to AP Spanish my senior year in high school. In the future, I hope to maybe use that language and do something internationally based business-wise, but definitely I'm going to try to do something in the sports world as well. Something involved with all those fields to mix it all together.
So, although I really enjoy volunteering for our school community and events stuff like that, I'm also really passionate about volunteering for causes or issues that I'm passionate about. So whether that be environmentalism or supporting minority groups or supporting the less fortunate, I really enjoy volunteering for those things. For me personally, volunteering has kind of shown me how other people live and given me a different perspective on life and a different worldview, because working with people and talking to different people while volunteering, it just kind of it's crazy because I feel like I take a lot for granted sometimes, and just seeing how other people live and how they live without certain things. I think it's important that people volunteer because it just kind of keeps you open-minded and makes you realize how important it is to appreciate the things you have.
I have several that I think are most important to me because I do a lot through the school, but the 4 that are most important to me are my work through Team Impact, Team Emily, St. Mary's, and Relay for Life. And for Team Impact, it's an organization that pairs chronically ill children with a college sports team. And for that team, I am an ambassador and a participant. So I participate with Monmouth University women's soccer team. And I raise awareness to its purpose by being a part of videos for ESPN and the New England Patriots. And I also speak at galas where the other ambassadors fundraise and promote the program. And then for Team Emily is a group that my family created to raise money for other organizations that assisted me during my illness, like Make-A-Wish, my dance studio, Parking for Pete's Sake, and North Cheer. For St. Mary's, I helped my mom assist kindergarten through second grade CCD classes through my older siblings because they were a part of a lot of clubs in high school, and that's where they got most of their volunteer hours. So once I saw like the organizations they were working with, I wanted to work with them as well. And I also found more through like just my community by going to different events like the St. Mary's Fair. A lot of people like try to fundraise at that event. So I got connected with like Relay for Life and all that from my community events.
I've come such a long way and I've overcome a lot of obstacles. You know, I have Tourette syndrome, so I've seen myself grow personally the past 12 years, and it's just been an amazing experience. And there was a lot of hard times, but I really feel like they crafted me into who I am today. And because of them, I'll be successful in the future.
I got diagnosed when I was 10 years old. I was really tiny, so we knew something was going on, but it never really affected like my normal day life. Like I still danced, I did gymnastics, all of that stuff. So we never really knew like anything was wrong. And then one day when I went to the doctor, because I was also really skinny, I was like 38 pounds and I was in 6th grade. So we went to the doctor and he was like, I've seen something like this before, but it's really rare, because he was a young doctor, so he had just like learned about this disease. And I did a water deprivation test, which is like you go into the hospital and they try to see how long you can last without drinking water. And I lasted about 7 minutes, I think it was, and all my organs started failing. So he was like, okay, we have to go in for an MRI because like we don't know what's going on. So I got a full body scan, and that's when they found the brain tumor in my head. So after that, I had to go to Children's Hospital in Philadelphia, and I met up with all the doctors there, and they did more tests, and I had my first brain surgery in October of 2012, I believe it was. And that's when they found out that it was cancerous. So I had to go through another brain surgery to get it taken out. And then I had pencil point proton radiation therapy, which is, it's like brand new. It's experimental, basically. So they only have one machine, and it's at UPenn, which is right next to Children's Hospital. So me and my mom moved to Philly to get so I could get treatments every day. It's absolutely crazy how well all of the experimental stuff went. Like I have no restrictions except for I can't go scuba diving. That is the one thing I'm not allowed to do. Such a terrible event occurred in my life, but it brought my family together. Like we're so much more united than we ever were before, just because like we recognize like the little times that we have with each other can be so important. My community were the people that helped me and my family when I was sick. So they like raised money as much as they could possible just to help us like pay off all medical bills and all that kind of stuff. So I just like to give back to those people who helped me through a tough time.
I was diagnosed with osteomyelitis. It's an inflammation of bone. It was in my collarbone, and there was a hematoma, which is a blood pocket that kind of developed on top of it. So there was a lot of ambiguity as to what it really was. And so I was sort of misdiagnosed at the beginning, which did lead to it developing more. And my immune system was able to wall it off. But if that was not the case, I could have contracted sepsis and been in a much worse place. So I'm very grateful for how everything was handled and the care that I received.
Going to Columbia next year is really exciting because it kind of shows the hard work that I've put in over the years, and also I guess from an academic standpoint, like being valedictorian is cool because it definitely like shows the work that I've put in over the years, but also I feel really accomplished in like just myself and like how I've grown as a person. Like looking back on freshman year, I would never think that I would be where I am today. So I think there's like academic accomplishments, but also just like accomplishments with myself and how I've grown, and it's like nice looking back on that.
My biggest accomplishments are definitely my class rank, because when I was sick, I missed like 2 years of school, so I had to do everything from home. And with all the doctor's appointments I still have to go to continuously, I miss school, have to make up the work. So just the fact that I was able to like rank so highly in my class, number 8 in my class, and still like participate in clubs and dance and cheer and go to doctor's appointments while missing school, that was definitely my biggest accomplishment for myself.
Since 8th grade, actually, I started doing a little jazz band at the art center, and then I started to get involved in some of their theater programs, and I realized that that's kind of more where I want my career to head. So I started, along with one of my friends, a student-led production company there. So we do a main stage musical every summer, and it's grown to be a lot more than the first year, which was really awesome. We now have like a full production team. We have a pit orchestra, we have crew, cast, and I was really able to build a lot of relationships that I hope to continue.
Getting a leadership position in marching band, because I had worked for that since my freshman year. Probably completing my AP classes. It doesn't, in my opinion, just being able to like get through an AP class and learning those higher level kind of thinking skills are really important.
Everything I accomplished from DECA, that was a big part. I mean, I think John and I were one of the few people to ever get to the international level from North for the competition, so that was really cool. And then I'd say probably being the captain of the soccer team, and I won an award for the team as well. It really paid off, and it showed that all my hard work was really worth it, and it meant a lot to me. Definitely the seal of biliteracy as well.
I like to see myself as like a very well-rounded person. Like I do dance, art, and I'm very like study focused. I was cheering all 4 years at North, and I was actually the captain. Cheer just was another way for me to be involved and like meet people, and it's something I love to do. I've definitely done like a lot at North. The most recent thing that comes to mind is that I just finished painting a mural by the cafeteria. It goes to the ceiling, and then it's like really long, I want to say 20 feet. But it's just being able to finish it and being able to have my name on there. It's just a big accomplishment and something that I've always wanted to do since freshman year. And I've actually been able to do 2 murals, so I've kind of exceeded what I wanted to do. I think I like so many different things that it's hard to pick. Yeah. I think that's where college will have to help me narrow it down. Definitely taking a lot of like intro classes, like intro to criminal justice and psychology. And then from there, I'd have to like talk to people and look into other classes. And then I'm definitely taking like sign language because it's something I've always wanted to learn.
This year I made it into the All-Shore Symphonic Band. I made it into the All-Shore Jazz Band this year for the second time. And then I made it into All-Shore Choir. And then 8th grade, I made it into the All-Shore Intermediate Band.
This past year, like in 2019, we made it to the overall Group 3 state championship. And we won. That was like the best experience of my life. And it was just amazing, like that feeling, and like doing it with like your best friends is just like 10 times better. And it was just like the best feeling because no other team at North has been able to do that for softball. So it was really like amazing that like we were able to like make history and then just like win this like huge accomplishment. Winning the Group 3 state championship title and then winning 2 sectional titles for softball, I would say definitely my biggest accomplishments. And now I'm looking more forward to playing softball in college and hopefully accomplishing more out there in California.
I actually started a mindful psychology and wellness club. My sophomore year, I started ramping it up, but junior year, I made it official. And we have over a dozen members, and it's going to continue into next year.
Getting into National Honor Society last year was probably the biggest. I've maintained straight A's all throughout high school. I actually lettered last year in track for winter track.
Getting the opportunity to be in some of the school's National Honor Societies. So I'm part of the Science National Honor Society, the French National Honor Society, and as well as English. And I think those are my top 3. And then I also am pretty proud to have been nominated for events like the Hobie Conference and Career Institutes. So I think those are my top accomplishments.
In my junior year, I scored a perfect 800 on my math section of my SATs. I am a member of 5 honor societies at Middletown North, the National Music, Latin, Science, and Math. I was accepted to the Rutgers Pre-College Summer Academy my junior year, and I attended that. It was a great time. And I'd also received acceptances this year to the Penn State University College of Engineering and Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute.
Being inducted into National Honor Society was one of my biggest accomplishments at North. We all worked so hard, to get the grades, to be involved. So I was so happy to finally be inducted last spring with all my classmates because we really worked hard. This year I took the seal of biliteracy for Spanish and I passed, so that was definitely a big deal for me. And I've also been playing softball for a while, so I've had a lot of accomplishments on the field, and I've just really had a great time with that too.
Definitely getting my Eagle Scout was probably one of my biggest accomplishments in high school. I was pretty proud of that. It took a long time and a lot of work. So
making the varsity cheer team, that's like a really big accomplishment.
Getting into the Italian Honor Society and being part of that was amazing. My senior year, becoming one of the varsity cheerleading captains was definitely a big accomplishment because I worked for it for all 4 years. Being part of the Italian Honor Society and the National Honor Society, just because it's such like a privilege and an honor to be a part of it. So yeah, I would definitely say that's probably my biggest accomplishment.
My stuff at the art center, I think that was a unique experience that I got to have there. Junior year is usually when you take most of your hardest AP courses, but I feel like in that aspect, some of the closest friends I've made have been through those, and I've been able to, we all kind of like struggled together in all those classes, and we were, we'd meet up for study groups, and that's definitely where I made a lot of my friends. But as far as some other memories, I guess marching band competitions, home games, being a part of that community and the music community, the spring musicals. I think the arts at our school are really, really strong in the community that they build, and I was so happy to be a part of that.
Most of my memories with the band, I've made some real lifelong friends from band in particular, and all of our concerts and everything. I just think as a whole, like band has been my greatest part of high school. I'd say like APUSH and probably AP Stats this year have really bonded me with the people I take it with. My favorite memory was when we went to DC or the Nerf War last year. So at the end of the year, all the APUSH kids, we go to a local park and we just basically have a Nerf fight, and me and one of my friends made shirts, and it's just a great experience to kind of end the year and then take the test and feel accomplished.
At North, I played on the varsity soccer team. I've just been really committed to it. It's a great program. It was like 1 a.m. I was at a trip in Richmond for a soccer tournament, and I had a game the next morning at like 8. And my friends and I just ordered Domino's, and then the guy showed up and he didn't bring enough pizzas, and we were like, where's the rest of our pizzas? And he didn't come till like 2 a.m. So we didn't end up eating till like 3 probably. And then we had a game at like 8 a.m. and we ended up winning somehow. that was a lot of fun. But it was just one of those dumb things that I'll always remember. I was in DECA, which is a business club at North. I was really involved in that. I had the opportunity to go to Atlantic City twice. I went to Orlando as well to compete there. So that was a really fun experience. It was like an international competition between, I think, like 7 or 8 countries and all 50 states in the nation. So there was like 20,000 people there. It was a lot of fun.
Probably my greatest memories were performing on the football field during the halftime show with the marching band, and playing in the stands during the football games, and being in the choir, and being in the concert band and the jazz band.
I love everything about softball. It's just like you have like a great group of girls, and like at the same time you get to play what you love doing. Like I look forward to like going to the field like every day. I just share that experience with like my mom when she played in high school too, and like I don't know, like because she's just been my mentor for my whole life, and it's just something special that we have between us. Leading the nation, the football games, the hockey games, and just even like throughout like my softball season, like being on and off the field, like my softball teammates, and it's just like we were always so close, and we'd had like a really good bond, and it's just like amazing that we were able to like accomplish so much together. So definitely like most of like my like biggest accomplishments were made on those teams, and like the best memories I've ever had were on those teams. And but yeah, I have a lot of fun on and off the field with like my teammates and like my friends. So
I would say like definitely, like I just mentioned, the trips to Washington D.C. and New York. Those were some of my best memories from high school, just because I found that I had an opportunity to kind of learn something new outside of the classroom in like a non-traditional learning format, and I thought that was really fun, and I got to kind of like see new things with my friends and peers. So it was definitely a good experience that I probably wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. On my New York trip, when I went to New York with Miss McGowan junior year, I remember going to like the Metropolitan Museum of like I think it was Metropolitan Museum of Art, and we just kind of like, I saw a lot of like cool things, and I remember being with my friend, and like we were looking through kind of like some of the Asian like this section with all the Asian artifacts, and I just thought it was so cool, and I remember, and like we were talking about it, so I just felt like it was such a cool moment, and it almost didn't feel like I was like learning in a sense, like in a school-wise like situation, but I was still learning everything. So I felt kind of like, if this is so cool, like I'm being with my friends and I'm learning, and it's like a new experience. So I just remember that.
I received the opportunity through Middletown North to attend the Education First 2018 Berlin Global Technology and Leadership Summit, and that was an amazing opportunity, a fantastic experience. I was invited through being a member of the STEM Pathway program, and myself and 3 other Middletown North students made the trip to Amsterdam first, and we got to take tours and meet engineers from the Netherlands, and then we eventually made our way to Berlin, where we attended a summit of over 1,500 students and amazing tech icons from around the world. And towards the end, we actually competed in a design and innovation competition, and I was nominated as my team's captain, and we placed 11th out of the 150 competing teams. My sophomore year, we were able to compete in the Yamaha Cup, which took place in MetLife Stadium, where the New York Giants and Jets play. That was a great time, just a fantastic venue. It was awesome. And in my freshman year, when the football team made it to the state championship, we were able to play in Rutgers football stadium, where I will be playing next year with the Marching Scarlet Knights drumline.
Football games were definitely a highlight of high school, and I think that's why I wanted to go to a bigger school, because, you know, school spirit, it's so strong at North, so I wanted to continue with that. All the trips with A-Push, AP Lang, Nerf War for A-Push was definitely fun, and the Europe trip Miss Hill organized this past summer was awesome. I remember my first football game. I was so nervous, you know, little freshman. I didn't know what to expect. I sat in the very back, very back, because I was like, I don't want anyone to be mad at me for sitting, you know, I was so scared. And it was so much fun. I remember just like smiling the whole game and saying, wow, like this is going to be so much fun for the next 4 years. The A-Push Nerf War was awesome, because we were all so stressed before the AP test. So we had this the night before, and we let all of our frustrations out. And I remember falling while we all went, and we were sprinting to grab a gun, and I remember just falling flat on my face. But, you know, I'm always going to remember these things and take them with me.
Definitely like school trips, like A-Push and Miss McGowan's trips. And then like all the times I worked with like classmates and friends with like making short films, like that's really fun. I'm getting to do my passion while also hanging out with friends. But then like your usual class shenanigans, like just laughing in class with your friends and such.
Having like these like awesome teachers that like you can relate to, and they like joke with you, but they're also like helping you learn and become like a better person. Going on like trips to like New York and like different faraway places for like track meets, like that was really exciting. Breaking school records, that's really special. There's just a lot of things. There's so many things, like I can't, like the football games, that's also like really fun. I'll never forget those.
I love being a part of the North community, not just in school, 2 of us together. We did a lot of fundraisers, but also for me, being a cheerleader all 4 years. It was so much fun being able to be in front of my community and my peers and like my teachers and be able to cheer. And my senior year getting captain, just being in the front and just enjoying everything, like the Thanksgiving Day game and having the entire town just surrounding you with love and excitement is just amazing. One of my favorite memories was actually my last race for cross country this year when we raced in sectionals. The whole girls team, we raced really well. That was my best race of my high school career. So it was definitely like a good way to end the season. And like definitely just being involved and as well the clubs doing all the fundraisers for everyone and just really being in the community were probably one of my favorite memories.
Definitely moving was probably the biggest thing, just because everybody was super, super, super kind and welcoming, and the staff was very understanding. My counselor was great. I ran track my junior year, so that was a fond memory, definitely. And then the football games were really fun. My school didn't really have a rival because I lived in a smaller town, so the Thanksgiving game was super, super fun because I've never been to anything like that. Yeah, and just being able to like be closer to the beach and go to like St. Cook and stuff like that with my friends.
I would just have to say one of them would be being able to have lunch with your friends every day, but also like the fact that you can bond with your teachers and like they're your friends, kind of, you know what I mean? Like they're there for you to help you, and that's like a really beautiful thing to have.
Friday night football games are unreal at Middletown North. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but our North Nation is quite crazy. It's unreal what they do at some of the games. I think my favorite memory ever was my first gold out that they ever had, because I was a freshman on varsity cheer, so it was my first game, first gold out. That was for me. And the nation just made it so special. They had balloons up for me. They made signs. They gave me a special bow, flowers. It was just a great experience. I'll definitely never forget it.
The things I've done these past 4 years with the support of the administrators and faculty, it's just priceless. It was a very good experience.
I've had such a great time at North.
It's been a great senior year. Made a lot of memories at North. It was a great experience.
I'm like very grateful for what I was able to do my 4 years at North, you know.
I just want to really say thank you to all my teachers at North and my friends, because it's been the best 4 years of my life thus far.
The Middletown High School North Class of 2020 will always be remembered for their diversified talents and special interests. They will be sorely missed, but never, never, ever forgotten. Best of wishes to all the graduates of the Class of 2020. Stay safe and be well.
Congratulations to the Middletown High School North graduating class of 2020.